Hey everybody, I am AR Mar, and what I watched today is Book 3, Chapter 1 of Avatar The Last Airbender, Awakening. That's right, we're finally on the final season, Book 3, Fire. We begin Season 3 with Aang waking up, he's weak, he's disoriented. I mean, he did just sort of die in the last episode, so it's, to be expected. He panics because, he's on a Fire Nation boat. And he hobbles out into the corridor to find his friends. Weirdly enough, he finds them all, they're just fine, relaxing with a bunch of Fire Nation warriors and wearing Fire Nation clothes themselves. And Aang passes right out seeing this. I can't imagine the shock to his system right there. We switch over to Zuko having a conversation with Mai. He's afraid of returning home. How much has home changed? How much has he changed? And Aang just tells him not to worry and gives him a little kiss. And I like that little reminder because since her introduction, Mai hasn't really had a lot given to her feelings for Zuko. We've had them mentioned at least once, but we haven't really had them front and center like this, so it's kind of fun to see that again. And then, we go back to the main crew and we find out that Aang has been out for weeks. They're on a Fire Nation ship that was captured by Katara's father, and Katara is being really snappy with her dad. It's like she doesn't seem aware of it herself, or at least she's acting like she doesn't. And she's really doting over Aang because he's injured. And when she tries to use bending to help Aang heal, he gets visions of what happened. And he realizes that Katara didn't just heal him, she brought him back from death using the spirit water from the well. Which, it's kind of scary. It's the Avatar almost died, and since he was struck in the Avatar state, we almost lost him, period. We almost lost the concept of the Avatar. And then we get a rundown of how the Fire Nation overran Ba Sing Se thanks to Zuko and Azula. And, they are talking up Zuko's part in it. They're really, giving him, full credit, and they're oh, Azula was there, but she would not have succeeded without her brother Zuko. So yeah, it would seem Ba Sing Se and the Avatar's defeat have regained Zuko's honor and allowed him to return home. And then we get a rundown of how the Avatar crew ended up on a Fire Nation ship. We learn that the Earth King left with his bear to travel the world in secret, and along with Sokka's dad, the Avatar crew, as Fire Nation ships started flooding in to help secure Ba Sing Se, captured a Fire Nation ship and have been using it to hide in plain sight. And, brilliant move there. I mean, that's a great military tactic and it's been used time and again. Their plan now is to gather what allies they can and then make a more covert strike than they were originally planning. This is when Aang gets some news that is just devastating to him. The entire world thinks he's dead again. I really feel for Aang here. I mean, the last time he disappeared, 100 years passed and the war got worse than ever. And now the entire world thinks he's dead again. It's like that hope that was made by him coming back after 100 years has been gone, snuffed out once more. I really feel for Aang. And it doesn't really help that his friends want to keep him covert. At this point, he's completely against it. He doesn't want to. He wants people to know he's okay, that there is still hope in the world. But it's at this point that a Fire Nation ship boards them before they've really had a chance for Aang to, express himself about this. And they quickly figure out, due to some information that the Water Tribe doesn't have, that this is a captured ship. Thankfully, thanks to Toph's ears, though, they hear that, Toph overhears them saying, we'll sink that ship, and she's able to stop them from giving the orders, and then the others are able to step in and fight back. So, yeah, the day is saved by Toph once again. If it wasn't for her, they wouldn't have known that those Fire Nation soldiers were onto them. And then we go back to a kind of cool scene, Zuko feeding his ducks. I mean, it's kind of a cool, callback to that flashback we got before of him as a child. He's feeding the ducks, because that's what he used to do back at the palace. It used to be one of his favorite common rituals. Except, he looks really glum, and Azula teases him about it, but she's really needling him and saying, do you think there's a chance the Avatar survived? like, Zuko doesn't tell her about the mystic water, but I think that she saw something in his eyes that made her, like, unsure of the absolute victory that they think they had. Then we go back to the naval battle, and Team Avatar is amazing. Like, we have Toph's earthbending, which is top-notch. She has her metal bending too, but then we have Katara, who is, frankly, like, as a waterbender, she sometimes seems more powerful than Aang. And her power scale goes up and down, depending on the situation, but in situations like this, like, maybe it's just because she's a pure bender and she's trained more than he has in just waterbending. But she is able to do things that I don't think Aang would ever even think to do. I mean, there's this cool Fire Nation weapon. It's like a harpoon they fire into the water to, make a hole in the ship. And Katara just immediately, like, freezes over the hole. Like, no hesitation, she just knows what to do. Though that also plays the idea that her people are, like, they use boats all the time at their home in the South Pole. Or, sorry, South Pole. But yeah, so she knows boats. She knows how to stop them from sinking, but no hesitation, just immediately, like, freeze down there, and then she makes this massive mist wall to try and give them the chance to escape. However, the Fire Nation fleet, these guys are way more experienced at navigating bad weather than they're given credit for. So they just keep falling right on them. And it's at this point where, Sokka's going, can it get any worse? And the universe Sokka says it can't get any worse. The universe delivers to them the serpent that attacked them on the Serpent's Pass. And it is hilarious right then, because, Sokka's just going, it's like, the universe loves proving me wrong, doesn't it? And Toph just kind of looks at it and is like, you make it so easy. So yeah, I'm glad that they still have their sense of humor. And then, the Fire Nation ship hits the thing with a flaming ball, so instead of attacking our crew, it attacks the Fire Nation ship. And as they're getting away, Sokka leans over and just goes, thanks, universe! And, after this, they pull into the port to make repairs, and as they're about to go on shore, Sokka tells Aang to cover up his arrow, because they need to keep it secret that the Avatar is still alive. Aang, he's still torn up about this. He refuses outright, stays behind, and he has a bit of a cool conversation with Katara, but he does kind of say something that makes an interesting parallel to Zuko. I want to get my honor back. So yeah, I can sort of see, like, what's going on in his head. He's still torn up about, like, he was in Ba Sing Se and he failed. He was there, he should have been able to fix the situation, but instead, the Fire Nation has conquered it. He decides about this point to run away from his friends, to leave them behind, because only he has to face his destiny. He believes he has to do it alone. He can't risk their lives anymore. He's gonna take on his destiny himself, and fight the Fire Lord. Wow, Aang, like, it feels like a lot like a parallel to when he ran away before. Except this time, he's not afraid of being the Avatar. He just thinks that he has to do it alone. That being the he can't put his friends at risk anymore. These people who care and rely on him. And yeah, I really feel bad for him. Like, at this point in the episode, I was kind of going, dang, Aang, like, I don't know whether to agree with you or to tell you to man up and realize you need help. Like, dude. Anyway, we get a brief moment of Zuko's father, telling Zuko he's been redeemed and welcoming him home. But after the way Zuko's changed, you can sort of see that Zuko is kind of wary of being home. All these years in exile, these years chasing the Avatar, everything he's been through, he doesn't feel secure at home anymore. He wanted this so badly, but now that he's here, he's afraid of it. He doesn't know how to handle it. After all, it's because of his sister that he's home, and we all know how little Azula can be trusted. And then we get Aang flying off on his glider. He's having a lot of trouble because of his injuries. And this is when we have Katara just explode at her dad. She's yelling about, like, why is Aang being so stupid? Why is Aang, like, leaving them behind? And then, like, her dad kind of realizes, like, you're yelling at me too, aren't you? Like, this isn't just Aang. And, it's like Katara's basically saying, it's like, why doesn't Aang realize how much we need him? Why is he being so selfish and leaving us behind? It's such a powerfully emotional scene. And Katara acknowledges, like, logically, she knows why her dad left. But she still feels the way she does. Sad, angry, and hurt. I can totally understand that. Sometimes when something hurts us, even if they didn't mean to, we understand, like, it's easy enough to understand, like, logically, why it happened. But there's still that wound in your heart, and it needs time and help to heal. It's not as easily overcome as the one in your mind. And now, like, she's become so close and so attached to Aang, and now he's abandoned her, just like her dad did, and she's, like, Katara can't hold it in anymore. Which really is, I learned myself, that's the best way to heal in these situations. You can't hold it in eternally. You have to eventually let it out. You have to tell people that you're hurting, or else they can never, you can never get an apology from the people who hurt you. You can never get the help you need. If people don't know you're hurt, they can't help. So I'm glad that, Katara stopped holding it in like this. We move over to the Fire Nation again, and, Zuko's dad is telling him how proud he is, and he reveals a very interesting point. Azula apparently gave credit for the Avatar kill to Zuko. A sisterly gesture, or a power play to hold over Zuko? We're left with this question as we rejoin Aang's journey across the sea. He does this really cool airbending dive move to get past the blockade, and then, like, uses a piece of driftwood to make sort of a sailboard. He's smart, he's resourceful, but it's clear that Aang's injuries are starting to take their toll, and a storm whips up, just claiming him for the sea. And next we have Zuko confronting Azula about what she did. Like, why did she tell their dad that it was all him? And Azula isn't even, like, subtle about it. She just says, it's like, she thinks that there is a slight possibility the Avatar might have survived, and if he did, now it's all on Zuko's head. She is as evil, conniving, and clever as ever. Because, like she says in the episode, sure, Zuko's getting all the credit right now, but if the Avatar turns out to be alive, then she is scot-free. Nothing bad happens to her, and all the blame for the lie, the Avatar being alive, everything falls on Zuko. He's only there because she needed a patsy. Oh, she is beautifully evil. And then we end the episode with Aang having survived the storm thanks to a couple visions from his past self, Roku, and Yue, the moon spirit. They calmed the sea and helped him reach shore. And the next morning, he's found by his friends. And thanks in part to what Yue and Roku said to him, he's a bit more at peace in his heart. He kind of remembers, like, he needs his friends. And he accepts that maybe they are right. For now, the world needs to believe the Avatar is dead. And that's where we end the episode, with Aang's glider burning by a volcano as he steps away from it and accepts that for now, he has to do what he can. And what he can do is take advantage of this surprise and take down the Fire Lord with his friends. So yeah, an awesome start to the season, and I can't wait to see where we go next. I'll see you next time.